Microsoft has confirmed it. The next generation Xbox is officially in development. And according to Xbox President Sarah Bond, this isn't just another hardware refresh. She says it'll be the biggest technological leap ever for Xbox, one that pushes the consoles even closer to PC than ever before. So let's talk about what that really means. Because if Microsoft is building a true PC console hybrid, that could completely change how we buy, play, and even think about Xbox. Imagine one device that runs your Game Pass library, your Steam games, and even powers your handheld. This isn't just the next Xbox, it could be the future of gaming hardware itself. Let's jump into it. All right, so we talked about this interview yesterday with Sarah Bond, and she did an interview where she talked about the next generation console for Xbox. She confirmed that they're deep into development for the next generation Xbox cycle. She called it the largest technological leap ever for Xbox, and she's done that a few times, hinting that it'll bring Xbox and PC closer than ever. It's clear that Microsoft wants developers to think of Xbox as a PC at this point. We're seeing kind of the first steps of that with the ROG Xbox Ally X. We're seeing that they want this to be one shared platform, not separate environments. This does fit the company's long-term vision and where they've been at for the last few years. If you're not surprised by this, and Xbox is completely changing what its brand means to be a console, and I think changing the entire console space. If anybody thinks that, for instance, PlayStation is going to remain the same, they're not, guys. They're going to be forced to move, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I do want to focus on two quotes that will set us up here for the rest of this discussion, what it means for Xbox. Again, Xbox is redefining their console identity and what the biggest leap could be. And then I want to play an imaginary game here. What does a PC Xbox hybrid actually look like? What do I want to see out of a PC Xbox hybrid? First, let's go through the quotes here. Again, this is the interview that we covered yesterday as well. Here's what The Verge says. When asked about rumors that the next-gen Xbox console will be more like a gaming PC, Bond appeared to agree. Quote, "I can tell you're right, that the next-gen console is going to be very premium, very high-end, curated experience." Now, a lot of people are dialing in on what does curated experience mean? I think it means exactly what, for instance, the ROG Xbox Ally X means. I think it means that you are going to pay to get the best. That's what that means. And that strategy has worked. The ROG Xbox Ally X has sold out. I was not a fan of that strategy. I didn't believe in it. I think the proof is in the pudding here. I think people want high-end curated experiences. I think that that's true. You're starting to see, she says, you're starting to see some of the thinking we have in this handheld, but I don't want to give it all away. Very interesting. I don't want to give it all away. So there's more coming here. And that's exciting. That's interesting. Again, I do think we have to treat this UI when you load up the Xbox ROG Xbox Ally X. The Xbox, did I say Xbox like 4 times there? I did. This is like the first step in that direction. And we've said that for a while. I think we're just at the beginning of what their vision is for this, and it's going to be very interesting to see, and very interested to see where it takes us in the future. She does continue here. The Verge continues, Bond's latest comments are subtle, but they once again line up with her previous promise of delivering, quote, an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device, and prioritizing Windows. That's why she says we're working closely with the Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming. Now, a lot of people don't like that. In fact, people have said the reason I think this will fail is because it's tied to Windows. Well, Windows hasn't failed. Like, it's already set up on like 90% of the world's computers. So I think that's now I do know what they mean. They mean, I buy a console because stuff just works. I don't want to have to deal with Windows. So if they can bridge that gap, it's going to be very interesting here. Remember, they also did announce a multi-year partnership with AMD. Sarah Bond referred to that multi-year partnership in the interview as well. So what does this mean? Why does this matter? First of all, we just talked about it. Xbox is redefining the console identity here, not just for Xbox, but I think for the entire space. If you think PlayStation can just keep their walled garden and remain the same next generation, they can't. It's not going to work. I am telling you, as someone who's experienced the freedom now of the ROG Xbox Ally X, even in its limited capacity with the crossplay right now today, this is setting the future. There is a freedom there that's like, whoa. PC gamers have talked about it for years, but it's so awesome to be like, yeah, I want that game from Steam. I want this game from Xbox on my Game Pass. I want to play them both on this same device. It's so nice. I mean, I know you could do that with the PC, but having it in a handheld device in a controller form, for me, just works, and it's nice. So imagine a scalable Xbox platform. I think that's what they're having you do. They want this scalable Xbox platform where each device, whether it's your desktop or your handheld, speaks the same gaming language. And there's this interconnectivity there. There's this pick up and play wherever you go. In fact, Xbox dropped a new commercial today that did better explain their Xbox Play Anywhere. This is an Xbox. Basically, they divided it into devices. And now you can pick up and play here. And now you can play here. That's what they mean by this is an Xbox, which, yeah, those of us who can think for ourselves, we knew that that's what they meant. But this, we'll go over that ad. Maybe we'll do a different video on that ad. It was really good on the new marketing there. What about the biggest leap? What is the biggest leap? A lot of people have said this may mean raw power, and there's probably a lot of the raw power in there. We're obviously going to get next generation hardware. We're going to get AI rendering. We're going to get RDNA 5 graphics. We're going to get faster chips. But the real leap, honestly, could be philosophical. An Xbox that acts like a PC, but feels like a console. Like, think about that for a minute. An Xbox that acts like a PC and feels like a console. Now, you could be cynical here and say, oh, acts like a PC, so it's always good. I'm going to constantly update it, blah, blah, blah. No, I think, as I've been thinking about it, think about what a hybrid PC console could mean here. It could mean that let's take the Series X, but maybe in more sleek form factor, a more futuristic form factor, a small form factor box like the Series X that boots instantly into the Xbox dashboard. But underneath, it's full Windows at its core, and you can toggle between console mode and PC mode. On MacBook, for instance, when you you can dual boot into Windows, and you can dual boot Mac OS, right? Like, think of that, but on a console. So imagine your console has console mode and PC mode on it. That could be it. Maybe it's not at all. But just that alone is pretty cool. So in console mode, it runs just like a Series X, unified UI, optimized performance. It's got the quick resume feature. I would like to see them bring back Snap. I know why they don't do it, but Snap was amazing. Bring it back. And it's a controller-first experience. Then, imagine being able to switch over to PC mode. You press a button, and now you got Steam, you've got your PC Game Pass, you've got mods, you've got Discord overlays, you've got the full Windows ecosystem in this dual boot mode. Now, I don't know that they're going for a dual boot. I'm just imagining things here, but that's an option. Why are we not thinking of it this way? Why are we thinking that it just has to be one way? Why could it not be dual boot? That would be very interesting, wouldn't it? I would love to know what you guys think. Do you like the idea of dual boot, or do you think they're more likely, or do you prefer just a unified system that moves everything into this PC mode with the Xbox Pass or Xbox app overlay as your OS? That's probably more likely what they're going to do, because if you think about it, they open themselves up to every single PC game on the planet. Like, that's just the reality. Like, Xbox no longer becomes something that I have to optimize for. I just optimize for Windows, which I'm going to do anyways. And you're golden. So really interesting. I do think that we aren't thinking of it this way, and I do think it's interesting to think about a dual boot mode here. That could be a PC. If we're talking PC, Xbox PC hybrid, why not? Why could that not be the difference? Let me know in the comments below. Do you like that idea? Don't like that idea? Let me know. Do you think that that's likely? I don't think that's likely, but I think it's fun to imagine. Regardless, I think for gamers, I think what we're going to get is seamless modding. That's one thing that us as console players have really missed out on. And a lot of games, Bethesda, for instance, Minecraft, etc., have included modding directly in their games on consoles, but it's never day one, and it's never direct, and it's not the same as PC. So whatever it is, if you can manage to seamlessly bring those together so that I have access to all the mods as well on my Xbox, amazing. But again, on my Xbox may just mean on my PC. Windows is going to be underneath running that, so it would be able to. You'd have unified game libraries, Game Pass, Steam libraries sync. There's no more choosing platforms, and the more they expand Xbox Anywhere, that means that you can pick up and play anywhere. That's my number one thing. I completed a game already. I completed The Keeper. How did I complete The Keeper? At one, it's not a long game. Also, highly recommend it. Ton of fun, but it's not a long game. But what I was able to do, I played on my console when I wanted to sit back, relax, play on a big screen TV, really take in the artwork and the beauty that is Keeper. And then I played on my couch, played in my bed on the ROG Xbox LIX. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is how I beat Keeper. And I'm working on Ninja Gaiden 4. And it's this freedom that you can do that. So with Xbox Play Anywhere on different devices is amazing. I cannot understate how awesome it is. If you've not experienced it for yourself, get ready. It's a trip, man. It's a trip. Does a PC console hybrid mean that you have upgrade freedom? That's one thing that consoles have struggled with. PlayStation has done a better job of it than Xbox, where you can put in your own, upgrade your memory. You can take it out, and upgrade it yourself. Xbox, you can't do that at all. So PlayStation is ahead on that. But imagine if you're able to treat it like a computer and upgrade slot new storage, even upgrade GPU modules over time. That'd be very interesting. Is it anything like that? That is kind of the dream of a living console. Like, hey, I'm not stuck in. It's one that evolves and doesn't reset every generation. That's what's nice about PCs. It does that. That's honestly what's nice about the handheld. The RG Xbox LIX, you can upgrade that bad boy over time. Either way, I think this is big. Whatever it is, I think it's really exciting. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. He's a big PlayStation guy, and he doesn't really pay attention to the Xbox side of things. I told him, hey man, you got to watch my channel. You'll be much more informed on all things Xbox. And he was saying that he thinks PlayStation is not going to follow this path. That PlayStation is going to come in and stick with console gaming and come in and just be cheaper and be this option. And I don't think that's sustainable. The only people that can pull that off is Nintendo, because what they're doing is completely different. But even over time, given enough time, Nintendo's going to have to switch that as well. I think we are at the dawn of a whole new age of gaming. I think it's the dawn of the golden age of gaming. I think these walled gardens are coming down. This is an old model. I think this is Apple. This is Xbox Apple Silicon moment for Xbox gaming. It's a total rethinking of the hardware-software boundary, a PC console hybrid that unifies the Xbox brand across devices on multiple hardware, and you can play it all together, and it's all in Xbox. That's entirely different. And so you're getting the naysayers. And granted, Xbox has to prove it. They have to prove that this is going to work. So far, if the RG Xbox LIX and Game Pass are any indication, I think it's working. I'm all in. I'd love to know what you guys think, though. If Xbox nails this vision, do you think that Sony has to respond with something similar, or do they double down on being a pure console? And we're a pure console company. I just don't think you can. The options, the freedom, it's too high of a selling point. It's too much of a selling point from a direct competitor. I wanted to bring these up. I found some of these. These are like what people think a Xbox could look like. An Xbox PC hybrid, and it's a PC with an Xbox, you can see an Xbox edition right there down at the bottom, and an Xbox controller there, and it's white. I don't think it will look like this. This is very PC. I don't think it will look like this at all. I think it's going to be much closer. I don't think it will look like this either, but I love this case. If this case is real, let me know. I want this case. That is cool. This is very much traditional PC look. I don't think that's what it's going to look like. I think it'll probably be much more like this. Now, these are obviously AI images here. This is someone, on Twitter posted this up. And you can see, this is actually, can I zoom out? Let me zoom out on this. Oh, I'm already zoomed out. So apologies. You can really only see the top two. I will say I like number 2 better. I think I like number 3 down here. You can't see if I can zoom in. It's going to be something to this effect. I think it's going to look more like the Series S and the Series X. It's going to be all self-contained. It's not going to look like a PC, even though it may have that PC compatibility. Though, what do you guys think? What would you like to see out of these? 1, 2. You can't really see 3 or 4, but 3 or 4 at bottom left, bottom right. What do you think? Or do you think that we are much more likely, if they go this direction, to get something traditional PC here? Out of these two, I like this one the best. This white one is pretty cool, but that's not an Xbox. The Xbox brand is very weak there. We're gonna get something that looks much more Xbox. Although I do like this. Would be a sick PC build. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think. That's gonna do us for today, everybody. Love doing these videos. Love hanging out with you guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time. We drop dimes all the time. I can't speak today. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.